This is EBS TV Reloaded.
The other stations are tuned in too.
And this is alarming. And we are one of the leading producers of oil. That means there is much money, a lot of mineral resources in the country. But most of our kids are not in school. We don't want to go there as so they've been at home. Most of our students have been at home for the past 6 months. And I remember what somebody said, education is like the bedrock of the society. Education is knowledge. Education is light. And when there is no light, what is the future all about? And if the youth are the leaders of tomorrow and there is no education in their path, I wonder the kind of leaders we will breed in the next future. 20 million out-of-school children. This is what we'll be looking at this morning. Is this a healthy development? Is it a thing that we should just relax and said, okay, it will just go by its way and everything will just be normal? Or is what we should not close our eyes anymore so that we can deal with this ugly trend? This is what we'll be looking at. And with me in the studio, we have an independent, private, international researcher on human behavior. He's also a public commentator. This man is good in whatever he is doing right now. He's Uwagari. I beg your pardon, sorry about that. Sunday Aibuikum.
Right.
You're welcome, sir.
God bless my sister.
Uwagari, yes, I got that correctly.
Yeah.
I have to say that well. All right, thank you so much for coming. We are expecting other persons as the discussion progresses. We'll be expecting proprietors of schools. They need to tell us what this development is all about. But let me get your thoughts this morning.
All right.
What is your assessment on this alarming rate of the number of out-of-school children in Nigeria?
My good sister, once again, let me tell viewers, you're welcome to this segment. In the first place, do we even know the meaning of education? We don't even know the meaning of education. And I know some persons watching that will say, what is this man saying? But that is the fact. Because education is not change of degree. It's simply change of human innovations. You need to drive human development. That's the meaning of education. But yeah, I we are busy saying this. That is why when you become a leader,
This is
as a
EBS TV.
president of a nation, as a governor of a state, why do you think over there, an American president, German or chancellor, whatever, or you go to United Kingdom prime minister, they don't play with the issue of education? For your information, my sister, education is a social idea created by a white man. It wasn't God that created all the courses we went to school to study. All these things came from the human brain, and they are all responsible for all forms of development you find around in our environment. Okay, what have we used, in fact, what have we done with our education? I don't see it. Okay, every piece of idea you and I parade today is the innovation of a white man. And you go outside Nigeria, people behind these things, they are educated people. Let's start from this studio. Just show me one thing here created by us. There is no. And we have lived under this illusion over the years. That is why we don't take the issue of education serious. This is how it goes over there. When a president, when they are making budgets, you hear at times 25% of the budget to education. Why are they doing it? They push this money to the educational sector, knowing fully well that innovations will come from this sector that will be used to drive the development of the nation. But look at us. We are fond of accusing government, oh, how can government allocate 10% or maybe 15%? It's too small. Have you ever asked yourself, right from 1960 up to date, show me one piece of an idea, be it scientific and social, created by us independently that forever change our nation and the world? There is none. Whether you are a lawyer, you are a doctor, anything you are, it is the innovation of the white man. You hear people say, oh, when Nigerians are in abroad, they do well. Listen, those are carbohydrates arguments. When they're in abroad, before they left here, they studied the idea of who? A white man. You got there, what do you know as a Nigerian doctor when you arrive America? If you look at the equipment, my dear, most of the equipment you have not seen them before. They will not teach you all over. then you are able to do one or two things, you start making noise with that. Oh, they are doing. No. What the white people are saying is this. If intellectually you are healthy, you know what you are doing, create your amazing idea, change your country and the world forever. That is the position. But this is not what you find in Nigeria. That is why it is difficult for government to take the issue of education very serious. Because if, for example, as I speak, Nigerian universities, polytechnics, and all of that, they are coming up with what independent and amazing idea. Oh my God. The government will even want to budget 30% for education. As a trained teacher, I know what I'm talking about. I remember when I was teaching, I was not comfortable. Why? How do you teach somebody's idea for 30, 40 years? That is intellectual madness.
So what do you want to teach?
For example, when I was teaching, I was not too happy because it was somebody's idea. Do you know, as I speak, I've created my own social idea, and it took me 40 years. You won't believe until you start seeing my works. The only thing holding me back now is just the finance. Yes, people, they are quick to attack government, this. Even though if people refuses to help, I know God will make a way. Because what I have done, the Americans, they've not seen it. The so-called intellectual, what are they making us?
Where did you get that idea to
It is
come
from
up
the brain. It's from the brain.
Without studying, without...
So good.
You base something on a particular platform before you start yours.
Beautiful. This is what is going to shock people. Because if you go to our library, what are you going to see? Physics, chemistry, and all of that. There is no way you will not copy from what the white man has done. Let us not deceive ourselves. But in my own case, I came up with ICIW. I won't tell you the full meaning because of intellectual security. That will be revealed later.
All right.
Okay. Who taught me this thing? Nobody. Do you know, my dear? I deliberately deny myself pleasure. I know you don't know.
Okay, let me
to make sure.
No, let me stop you there.
Yes.
Talking about education.
Yes.
I just said, what is your assessment concerning the alarming rate? You said
Good.
most of us in Nigeria, we don't even understand
the
what
meaning of education. Yes.
It's all about.
Yeah.
But from your own definition, you said education has to do with
creation
having
of ideas. Yeah, use those ideas to drive the development of the society.
If we say education is like white man's knowledge, which we are building on, we have other countries like China, South Korea.
Good.
They have their own knowledge, and they are pursuing it.
Right.
And you see, most Indian even, they have their own medicine, which they are doing.
Good.
What, even for instance, we don't want to follow the white man knowledge. What have we done with our own knowledge, with the one that we have with us? Take, for instance, during COVID-19 and other issues, we have some ailments, and we have plants. Nigeria is blessed.
Over blessed.
So what have we been able to do with us? If I'm going to take you from, let's not copy the white man, so let's do our own. But how do you expect us to start if there's no platform to base what you're talking about?
I love your question. My sister, let me remind you. Before a white man came to Africa, were we not surviving? Our great-great-parents, let's say our ancestors, how were they able to create a system that worked? Health-wise, or economy, everything, politically, they were able to do it. And these are people we already refer to as uncivilized. They were the intelligent ones. They never copied white man's idea. The fact that we went to school should have been a double blessing. Okay, what are we doing? It is because we didn't understand what we went to school to study. That's why we're busy repeating the white man's idea. Have you not noticed? Anything they do, before you know it, they have gone beyond that level. Keep on improving, and we are busy by. What is wrong with us? Okay, we can do things on our own. I don't
want you to like
if we believe,
deviate from our discussion, because we are talking about our children right now. A lot of out of school children. We're not talking about children. We're not talking like adults or teenagers. We're talking about little children.
Very well.
So this alarming report that Nigeria have 20 million out of these children. Is it, before we go to the, let's do the traditional, let's do the other aspect of it, but the basis of it, communication in simple language, and because we are in the modern era, we are in the technological age, it's all about technology in this period, and we don't have us for the meantime. But this is
over the years, we'll be studying science,
so for the children right now, what do you think that is going on?
The reason why we've gotten to this level is what I've just analyzed. Because we don't know the meaning, and we that went to school, we are not creating any idea apart from copying the white man. So that's why the government is not serious. Because if the government knows that, at the end of the day, these educated people, they are going to come up with wonderful ideas. Who is government not to be serious? I have met government officials who have told me in the past that, after all, That's why they are not taking our professors seriously. What are they creating? Everything they are teaching is the white man's idea. They cannot come up with their own. It is because we are not using education to create innovation. That is why they are taking the issue to be like that. Can you try that in America? No. United Kingdom, no. If by tomorrow now, you just come up with something new that the government has never seen before and is working, government will need and start begging our teachers and lecturers. They will.
All right,
So
thank you for
to
that.
convince government now to bring money, take the issue of education serious, we say, after all, what are they teaching? It's not well, since 1960, you are still teaching one thing. As I speak, the Americans are inside this kind of space, building houses. Some professors who teach physics, they don't even know what it's called, astrophysics. You are teaching something, apart from the definition given by a white man, you cannot reason it on your own. Say, no.
All right.
Why is this like this?
All right, thank you, Mr.
Yeah.
Aibweko. We on this studio sometimes we invite some young minds,
Yes.
and they do tell us some of their innovations.
Yeah.
Apart from the white man knowledge,
Yes.
some of our young Nigerians,
What can we do now?
They are creative. They can do things. We've seen it, and,
Yes.
and it amazes us sometimes.
Right.
But I believe education helped to refine what you've been
What is
done.
on ground?
And when this is not going on, it is going to be a terrible situation
It's
for
what
the
we're
country.
saying now.
All right, we are still expecting the proprietor of the school. He has to give us his own a comment on that.
Right.
What is going on? The alarming rate of out-of-school children
Yeah.
in Nigeria.
So
Let's go
so-
to the factors. What are the factors? Because I just want us to stay on this discussion because
Right.
the
I
purpose is to make recommendations so that government at all levels
Yes.
can listen to us and
Good.
make the way out.
Good.
What do you think are the factors responsible for this high number of
Out-of-school
out-of-school children
children?
in Nigeria?
Number one is ignorance on part of the government and the citizen. Because when you have civilized leadership, you don't need to pressurize a president to put measures in place to make sure the education system works. That is our number one challenge. There is this leadership ignorance and also citizens' ignorance. That's number one. Two, Nigeria cannot pretend that we don't really have money to run the educational system. Then those of us, teachers, lecturers, we must also realize we have to come up with innovation because this is another way of encouraging government to pump money into that sectors. Then three, we must avoid this repetitive education. Learning one thing over and over. It shows that we don't know what we are doing. That is the same thing that happens in leadership when you are a president. You can't talk about I will build road, I will build school. Those are elementary issues. Talk of issues that can make us develop and be great. That's what the leadership is doing over there. But that's not what we find here. So these are some of the challenges that must be addressed so that government will be encouraged to bring in children. You mentioned Ethiopia in a war-torn situation, just 10 point something out of school children. But in our case, though we've not gotten to that level, we may have some challenges.
Okay, to fix.
20 million is really very embarrassing, my sister, I must tell you. I have always supported anything educational. But my argument has always been, should it be a one-way traffic issue? No. Education, as you learn, you create. It doesn't mean you have to make a play, mark you, or you must. No. It could be social idea. It's not something that indigenous community that brought about the likes of Agoda basket mouth. Alibaba, though he never invented, but he was smart to have indigenized it here. There were other guys, but he popularized it. Is that not amazing? Okay, what I want from those lecturers, teachers, even at secondary school level, did you know here the story of an American teacher who taught a boy 14 years when Obama was president of the United States of America? It was shown live on CNN. The boy made what? A bomb that can wipe out half of what? New York City. How did he do it? He said, my physics teacher taught me. I got to practicalize. He came back the following day and put a bomb on top of the table and told the teacher, sir, I have made a work clock. Behold, when the teacher saw it, he knew it was a deadly bomb. He ran out of the classroom, called the security agencies across America. Before the world knew it, the whole place was cordoned off. Obama said, bring it to White House. That is what education does to the human brain.
Say, my teacher taught me.
Yeah, the teacher in teaching the child didn't stop at theory. The meaning of theory is to know how we got here, make your own word improvement. But in Nigeria, theory, you keep on referring to, do you know ordinary quotes we can make? Ordinary quotes. Okay, if you ask a Nigerian politician, define democracy, government of the people by the people. Democracy simply means, in my own definition, a civilized government that brings about human development, protects all humans within a nation, then what's wrong with that? So these are the things we should be looking at.
All right. Oh,
And
what
the-
other factors that contribute to this high number of out-of-school children? You spoke about ignorance.
And on the part of the leaders and the government as well, then this idea of not coming out with innovations, because when you are churning out innovation, to go along with encouraging the system, the government, to bring in more funds. Do you understand? That's what they are doing. That's why you see government budgeting 20 or 25%. But in Africa, do you know how much?
All right, let's look about, apart from that, what about, we have a lot of insecurity also. Does it contribute also?
It does.
Okay.
Where there is no security, hardly you can do anything. I agree, it does. But before insecurity came up in our nation, the record is there. We couldn't do one amazing thing that changed our country forever. Americans were living in their various communities as poor people when they were being ruled by United Kingdom. But the day they got their independence, 4 July 1776, George Washington made it clear to the American nation that we would define who we are with our own innovations. That is why America hardly copies anymore.
All right,
Why
thank
can't we
you.
do the same?
Thank you so much.
You are
Just
blessed,
joining
my
us
sister.
on the studio is engineer, famous Jeffrey Okundamiya.
Miya.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. God bless my
You're
brother.
also a proprietor of a school,
Yes.
Discovery
Yes,
Group
school.
of School. You're welcome so
Thanks
much.
for having me.
All right, this morning we're looking at out-of-school children in Nigeria. As I said earlier, a lot of children, 20 million out-of-school children. So you are into the educational field. You know better. So this amount of 20 million
It's crazy.
out-of-school children in Nigeria, how do you see the rate? How do you see this
It's,
number?
thanks for having me on this show. It's very alarming and calls for serious concern by all stakeholders in the educational sector. As of 2021, UNESCO recorded 12.5 million. Imagine about 40% increase between 2021 and 2022. So all hands must be on deck to ensure that these things are nipped on the board. When we talk about out-of-school children, we're talking about children who have not had any formal education, who are on the streets due to one reason or the other. So these are the out-of-school children.
No
There are
formal
factors.
education.
No formal education at all. They are just in the streets. That they are doing one thing or the other. They may have some informal education, but they are not they don't have any formal education. And there are a lot of factors that are responsible for it, which government and all stakeholders must have to look into and ensure that this number comes down. Because it's getting
the
higher
number
by the
is
day.
getting
Yes,
higher.
it's getting higher by the day. And there are a lot of factors that are responsible.
Let's hear the factors, please.
One of them is poverty. Imagine a situation whereby a parent has 4 to 5 children, and you cannot have reasonable square meal a day to eat. You cannot even have even 2 times a day to eat. It's very hard. So such a kind of family, where will he get such money to send a child to school?
But
Consider the fact that we say they are free education.
yes, that's what I want
Yes,
to.
I know.
Even
you talk about
school feeding
yes,
program.
you talk about free education. It is not all about free tuition fee. When you talk about free education, it should be an all-round free education. What about the materials, the uniforms? Does government provide uniform for the children? Does government feed those children?
They do the school feeding program now.
How
that we
many
have.
schools? How
Okay.
many schools do they feed? So then, you're talking about text materials. Does government provide text materials for these children? Because if you want to encourage people to go to school, as at this level, government should be seen, putting all hands on deck, doing everything possible best to ensuring that the children, Nigerian children specifically, should be out of the streets. Because if they are not out of the street, the child that we did not train today, the society trains that same child becomes a problem to us in the future. That's where insecurity comes about. If children are productively engaged, if they are educated, if they have what to do, they will not go to take to cheap crimes for one thing or the other. So it's a serious thing. Poverty is one of the major factors, because poverty gives birth to other factors we are going to be talking about. If poverty is being taken care of, whereby your take-home pay is not even enough to take you home, not talk about feeding your children, not talk about giving them, putting them in good schools, the government should look into more funding of schools by way of solution to such issues. So poverty is one of the greatest and biggest problems. We have others.
All right, before you came, Mr. Ebweku said governments may not be doing well in the aspect of funding as a result of what is coming out from the output from the school. He said most of the schools, there's no innovation, nothing is going on, it's just garbage in, garbage out. Do you agree with him on that?
To some extent.
Okay, let's hear.
First and foremost, is funding of education should not be for government alone. Government should be seen reaching out for funds as far as education is concerned. UNESCO is there. Other agencies are there that sponsors education. So government should think deeply and look into how to reach out to such organizations. Private individuals can also sponsor education.
Let me ask you the question. You say most of these schools that we have, they are just going there, they are doing, there's this circle, there is nothing new happening in the school system. Do you agree with him that there is nothing new happening in the educational system? That's why government is a bit nonchalant about funding schools.
Okay.
Yes, why I say part, I agree with him in part. Because government should be seen making education attractive. When you want to make education attractive, we are beyond our century, the time we went to school, whereby it's just slate, biro, paper. Now there are more sophisticated tools that government should introduce into schooling. Computers are some of them. Children of nowadays, if you have a 5-year-old child, he operates your phone better than you as a parent do. So government should be seen in that light. And I believe that's what the President Commissioner is trying to do, bringing innovation into the school system.
What about the teachers also?
Yes, the teachers should be trained and retrained.
Oh.
There should be constant training of these teachers, because the more you go, things changes. Like in those days, rather to say, a child gets up to 10, 11 years before that child can read. But nowadays, the KG2 child can read. A basic 1 child can read. If the necessary tools are harnessed, they are used. If the teachers are trained.
Okay, before we get to that training, I still have to stay with you. Do you agree that most teachers are not being innovative on their part?
Yes.
Okay. Do you agree with that?
Yes, that's where passion comes in.
Okay.
It is not just getting anybody to the classroom. It is not just going to the classroom because I don't have so job. Let me use the classroom as a cover-up.
So there should be passion.
There should be passion. People should be seen having passion for teaching, showing love and care to these children. It is not only teaching. Some of them may be very experienced, may be qualified, but they don't have the passion for the job.
To go the extra mile.
To go the extra mile. Apart from talking about funding, teachers can improvise. There's make-up charts teachers can do in the wake of waiting for the government to fund these schools. You can use cardboard paper, you can use a lot of things to make up teaching aids that will make it, because the things the children see, they find it difficult to forget. If they practicalize certain things, they see it. It is environment. For example, the curriculum should be overhauled, should be changed, because it should present on major happenings, things that are happening around us, not what is far, the children cannot see.
They should situate it with their own environment.
With what they can see, what they come across to on a daily basis, what they are used to. They go outside, they see those things, they come in contact with those things. So those things are the things that will form basis of our curriculum in Nigeria. And if that is done, you see the passion. Children want to learn. All
right. Mr. Ibweko, what do you think that can be done to encourage, apart from the school feeding program and a bit of free education in some states, even in Edo, at least from the basics, what else do you think the government can do in order to attract children, apart from attracting the children, encourage parents to take their children to school?
It's a very simple thing, my sister. First and foremost, like I earlier said, a black man hasn't gotten the meaning of education.
We are not there yet.
No. What are we talking about? It is just that it's not possible. I would have taken all of you abroad. And I'm happy this is a proprietor, is it not?
It's a proprietor.
My brother, very good. Have you met me before?
No.
I'm not good. Go and check. Private individual who opens schools. You know how many private universities in America? Hardly can you find any institution, even right from secondary up to university, without having something on table to show. The problem we have in Africa is this. We don't want to face the fact. You do not run a school just because you want to make money. No, I'm not accusing of that. Okay. But what we have seen, 99 or let me just say 95% of individual open private school is not for innovation. It's just money.
There's no passion.
It's as simple as that. The same thing happened in our churches. Remove money, many pastors, they will forget about their church activities. You know why I'm saying this? If we don't tell ourselves the truth, we are not going anywhere.
Apart from pastors, we should
so,
take it round. Even the mosque, the imams,
yes,
and everything.
yes. Now, at the end of the day, when you are opening a private school, you are talking of what can you do differently to change the greatness of America. You've heard of NASA. Have you not heard of NASA? Mm-hmm. They are concerned with space exploration. Yeah. Do you know Virgin Line owner? He brought out $500 million to sponsor our spacecraft to space. In a matter of 5 minutes, the $500 million gone. When it was asked, how do you feel? He said, look, if people didn't take the risk they took at that particular moment, there would have been no developed world. I started clapping. If I were to be a Nigerian person, I said it, all the witches in my village. No, the way we think is a problem to this country. When you love the human society, you are always interested. What can you do to change the society? Education is not certificate too. Certificate means you went through that process at the time, you were given a test which you call examination, you passed. That is the meaning. The real education is the idea you create. We are not creating any. Let's start from here. Look at this object. Look at this chair. Go and check technical school, polytechnics. You know FA of ITV. You know what he said one day? He said when he got abroad, some materials.
All right,
how?
Next
we are
time,
not doing that.
Sorry, sir. Next time, excuse me.
Okay.
When you're talking on this is sister station.
Okay, sorry.
You should.
I'm sorry, my dear, for mentioning that.
You should stay with us here. Even though you want to make reference, you should be careful with that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my sister. It's one of human factors. Thank you. At the end of the day, we're not creating anything. We are busy issuing certificates to people to run private universities. Where are the innovation? University was created by modern nation to advance knowledge for human creation of ideas to develop the human society. We are not doing that. We're only busy opening these things, no innovation, nothing.
What can government
Let
do?
me first of all come to what he said.
Right.
It's not only in the educational sector.
Okay.
When people don't have passion for certain things, abuse becomes inevitable. The truth is this. Let's take the medical profession, for example, married with education. The medical professionals, they treat and thereabouts. Then for the educational, we build lives. But a lot of us don't see it in that aspect. That building of lives is even more important than saving such lives.
Right.
Good. That's where government policies come in. Now, in the educational sector, anybody can just go into the educational sector. It ought not to be like that. It should be professionals. Government should be seen enacting policies. Yeah. Just the way you have in the medical profession. You cannot just go as a trader to go and open an hospital. You cannot just go as a market woman to go and open a pharmacist shop. Yeah. There must be some kind of certification. Right. When government begin to look into those areas, then we are ready to salvage the educational sector. All
right, sorry to interrupt you, and I believe that's what Edo State government is doing right now, because was it this week or last week, the Commissioner for Education, Joan Osalvawi, he met with some stakeholders in the educational sector, and she said most of these private schools are not meeting up with the standard. Yes. And soon as Edo State government is going to clamp on those schools. So Edo State government is doing that in order to get the right environment and the
Right.
right personnel
Yeah.
for the education. So let's give some kudos to them, though I'm from the state government, but at least when you see something that is
Yeah,
good,
of course, we have to encourage it.
you encourage them.
Yeah.
So apart from what you just said, what other role can government do to encourage these children to school? Apart from the school feeding program, what else can be done?
Government should make education attractive
In what way, please?
and functional by introduction of technological gadgets. It is not only in technical schools. I'm happy what he's doing in government science, technical college, and technical schools. But such should be replicated to other schools. It should give the private sector a challenge. Though they should see us as partners in progress.
Okay.
Yes, there's no competition. There should be partners in progress. So government should fund schools. Let them build. If it's one school per local government, properly equipped.
With the right personnel.
Yes, with the right personnel, trained personnel, with sophisticated gadgets. They should provide laptops. Provide practical apparatus and equipment, provide teaching aids, go digital. By the time the environment, it should be colorful. Government should paint schools. The aesthetic value of schools should be brought in. Plant flowers, make the government to be green. By the time government visit those areas, children they will long to go to school. And by the time the teachers or the personnel are well trained, they know how to receive children. They don't start insulting children. They know how to welcome them. What's your problem? Have you eaten today? What are your challenges? When the personnel are trained and the right gadget and the right facilities are there, you don't need to announce for children. Children will go rush to schools.
All right, sir, before I come to you, sir, I remembered somebody telling me one day, I was saying, this young man is not going to school. At least he should go to school so that he can get a good job, can become a medical doctor, a lawyer. So the man told me something. He said, school is not about going and getting a good job.
You see the problem.
The man said
Wrong
something.
mindset.
He said, school makes your mind to be
Yes.
refined. He said, when you are educated,
You can create job for yourself.
Yes, you are refined. Even the way you talk to people, your composure outwardly, it matters. And I believe when teachers are trained, they will teach these children etiquette that can make them. We don't see this. I shouldn't use this word outside. A lot of this agborism outside. All right, that's by the way. Let me come to you, sir. The school feeding program, do you think it's doing enough? Because I believe that's one of the factors that made government to say, okay, let's start feeding these children, and billions of naira has been spent in this direction. Do you think that is helping to take the children back to school?
Well, to me, that is just elementary aspect of the whole thing. When the foundation is not good, there's nothing you can do. I love what my brother said. He emphasized what the government should do. He failed to mention that on the part of the teachers, they should be ready to innovate. You can't keep on teaching one thing, you are telling me you know what education is all about. This is why we have a problem. To whom much is given, what happens to much is expected. The reason why white man is pumping money into education is because they are getting it back. Nothing else. I don't know why when we say that the world is a globalized village, people don't understand. You don't need to go and stay in America. What is the essence of all these means of communication, television, radio, computer, your phone? It's just for you to know what is happening globally so that you can make your little contribution.
That's it.
I have always supported the idea that schools should be well funded. And I've also argued teachers must sit up, come up with something new, where they cannot do that, add to what is already created. That is how education is supposed to be. But in our country, it's one-way-sided. Didn't you see when you said some minutes back that you get a job? The reason why Nigerians are going to school is just to get a job. A professor clocked 60 years. He was interviewed. It was published in Punch newspaper. Prof, what's your achievement? Oh, my God. That day, I hated what we call education in this country. You know what he said? I have some houses. I have some cars. I just said, go, as I was reading it. Now, an American professor was asked, Bobby Brand, how you doing? Cool. How old are you? I'm 60. What's the achievement? He simply read out his range of ideas and started clapping. When you watch CNN, you always see them innovate, innovate. You people are not getting the message. What they are saying to you is this: no matter what you are doing, look at how you can add one or two things to it and create a better world. That's what they are telling you. But in Nigeria, it's still ONE. ONE what? 1, TW 2. Look, do we even understand what we are doing? You see the innovation the government is trying to do is good. But teachers on their, what are they doing to come along with this innovation? Apart from what we are told, you can't do anything. We had under the guise of what? Curriculum. The white man doesn't understand what is curriculum. Is what? Innovation. Innovation all the way. This is why they are developed. Why should we keep on repeating one over and over? With even several seminars have been held in the past to see how we can remove ourselves from theoretical level to practical level. It ends there.
Mr. Agweku,
Nobody
how
does anything.
do you innovate with that information?
Good. The human brain is full of wonders. Everything you enjoy today was started by one person, group. Over the years, they were developed. Whereby you cannot think beyond what you are told, there's already a problem. This is the problem with us. But if you teach a white person, if you tell, okay, is it not funny? Look at where aeroplane started from. Here we are today. Is it not funny? Look at the two Wright brothers. They were not professors. They were not master degree holders. They were students. You see what we are saying? This is car. This is the first car. This is where we've gone
If you can just show so that
there's somebody.
Okay, these are the cars started.
Yes.
And these people, they are not professors.
No, the man wasn't a professor now.
No, okay.
Look at Dr. Graham started telephone. But you can see the human improvement on it. And today, you have telephone without wire.
Okay, don't you think the environment play a major role too? Because when you have a good environment...
It does. For your information, when a Nigerian person is too comfortable, he does not think of
Are we
innovation.
really comfortable?
Listen, for example, between 1960, I saw Nigeria growing up, between 1960 and 1985, all our universities were well funded. All our professors were paid. What happened? What happened? Do you know how much United States government has given educational sector in this country? Where is the money stolen? United Kingdom, they gave pounds. Where is the money stolen? Look at our Abiola, he gave millions, all the money stolen. Nobody is looking at that. We are fond of accusing government. What is it? In life, there are two sides to a coin. That's why you have 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 hands. Why is it that when it comes to education, we attack government from A to Z, but when we are acquiring property, we don't wait for government. You can see the illusion. I can tell you, my dear, we are good people. God gave us good brain. Our parents, men who lived 200-300 years ago, they never used white man's idea. They never stood. They were so good. When my brother said that if you don't train these children, they will end up as criminals. Who are the real criminals in Nigeria? They are the educated people. Who are the people stealing bills? Are they not? Are they not? This is the irony. So to just conclude somebody is not educated is a lie. Where educated people, they are the real thieves in our country.
The way you are talking, Mr. Agweku, is like as if you don't value education.
I do.
Okay.
If I don't, I won't be here. I wouldn't have got what I'm saying.
Because you're speaking like a white man right
The
now.
way they
You're not
are
even
going,
speaking like an African man.
the way they are going about education is wrong. Education is not acquisition of proper certificate, but acquisition of what? Innovation. How do you explain the conduct of Mark Zuckerberg?
And how do you get innovation?
That's what I'm
Being
saying.
creative.
I have started my own.
Okay.
By the time I publish, I will tell you, go to library. You can never see a copy
All right. From
of what
all,
I've written.
Thank you so much. From all I can deduce from what you've been saying is that whether you're a school teacher, whatever you're doing,
You find yourself.
be creative.
Be creative.
You
Add
go
value to whatever you are doing.
You just go deeper.
See market women who plait hair. See every week they change their hairstyle. Have you not noticed it? That is what innovation. Yet somebody who teaches mechanical engineering, he doesn't know where carburetor is in an engine, and you are telling me we know what we're doing. You expect government
It's
to be
not the
pumping
manufacturer
money.
for that. That's okay now. All right. Okay. Apart from government, we're talking about government. What can the parents do to encourage their children to get this basic knowledge in education?
I think that's a good question. Parents on their own, they have the moral and the legal right to pay their children's school fees, buy their uniform, and all of that. At home, they can still encourage their children by having extra lecture for them. They themselves, it doesn't mean you have to be a trained teacher. You can tell your children 1 or 2 things, and at the end of the day, it can go a long way helping them also to shape their educational understanding. These are some of the ways we can help our children as well. So it's not just only government alone. And we should also take time to follow up what they are doing. If a father can buy handsets, of 20, 25,000 for your son. And yet, when news is going on, you can't call the same son to listen. You are not helping that child. Because what you hear, what you see can change your thinking forever. This is why you have all this electronic gadget, radio, television, and all of that. We are not using it. When a Nigerian person is watching television, it's either watching maybe where they cut somebody's neck or where somebody did something horrible. But when an American child is watching television, the next thing we hear say, Dad, come and watch. The astronauts, they are going back to space. One day I will be an astronaut to space. That's American child for you. Call a Nigerian child. I beg waiting that they show you. They never show that Osalimere film. Oh, look at it. Just see the problem. I can tell you, my dear, America is the one that educated me. Yet you, how many years did this, which year? Why is the meaning of when we say globalization? How can educated people asking funny questions? They gave me the education I'm proud of. And when you ask me whether the chase of degree, I will laugh at you. Americans are simply telling you don't need to be in their country. They have created so many devices. Have you not heard of e-learning? E-learning started since this man created what? Look at it, Dr. Graham. It's now Nigerians are knowing e-learning.
All right, let's talk to the proprietor. What can parents do to encourage their children?
Parents should show more concern
in
their children's
education.
There should be this feedback mechanism. Parents should learn to relate with the class teachers, to know how far their children is going, to know what are the behavior of their children in school. Parents should check what the teachers are teaching, to know if the teachers are really following up. I encourage, as a child, as a parent, demand for the scheme of work for the particular class of your child. So vis-a-vis when
if the parents they are not educated, how can they demand for such scheme?
If they don't need to be educated, they don't need to be educated. For example, even if the parents are not educated, I have some parents who are not even educated. They show more concern. They want to find out what is happening. They may not be able to read, but they want to find out. In school now. My child, yes, bring out your book. They may not be able to read, but they want to see the pages that child wrote in school. So that feedback mechanism should be there. There should be this relationship between the school, between the government, the school, and the parents.
All right. Thank you. We are almost out of time, but before we go, we have a lot of street trading, children trading and not going to school. And the Constitution says at least the basic education should be free, should be guaranteed, compulsory for all children. So what can government do to enforce that this street trading we have, this begging can be stopped? Let me take it.
First of all, the Nigeria Orientation Agency,
National Orientation.
Yes, National Orientation Agency. They have a greater role to play.
Sensitizing people.
Sensitizing people. They should be seen being a part of the Crusaders to ensuring that out of school children, they go back to school. They should do that. First of all, give people the sensitization, the need
for them to
go to school. If they have done that, then government should follow up to ensuring that when these children comes to school, they have passion for it. They are encouraged. Because you hear some people now say school is a scam, school is a scam. It is not really school is a scam, but it's because of what they are seeing.
Innovations are not there.
If a little child at 14, 13, 15, 12 is already using phone to make money, then you cage the child in a school. From morning to evening, you are telling the child how to cram. Cramming cannot give the child money. Cannot give the child money. That's why they say school is a scam. So innovation should come in. They should introduce what we call money management in schools. Very important.
Money management.
Yes, money management and finance into schools.
And contentment also should be added.
Yes, it should be added.
Contentment. Okay. All right, Mr. Ibueko, before we go, how do you see this ASU strike? Do you think it will discourage children from going to school, this prolonged ASU strike?
We don't need to even argue that. It has gone a long way discouraging some students because even though they resume now, we are likely to find some students no longer interested. Wow. And I'm appealing to federal government, settle these guys, no matter what, give them their pay. And the federal government should be smart enough to tell this guy, yes, we will pay you, but make sure you come up with the innovations. Then on the part of ASU, I want to appeal to them. They are our brothers and sisters, no matter what happens. I want them to let them understand that university education is not for noise making. It's for human innovation, to further advance knowledge. They have the capacity to make money, just that they don't know how to go about it. Go and see what Oxford, Harvard, go and see the wealth they are creating. They don't even know whether government exists. So anything coming from government is a mere addition. If you doubt me, my dear, this is media, go and find out. You will be amazed. Let them do the same. You cannot say between 1960 up to date, government has never encouraged our universities. I have records. Millions have been given to these guys. You've heard of cases, vice chancellor stealing. What concerns a professor with stealing? I'm so disappointed, though.
All right.
If a professor can say, who are you now to attack?
All right,
Amroba?
sir.
Huh?
Concerning the ASU strike,
Not
what do you
all
want?
of some are very
Briefly,
good.
please.
Yes, government should be seen negotiating with ASU
All right.
to ensuring that our children go back to school. It is not a win-lose situation. The both parties should be seen on the round table. What
Yeah.
do they need? They should give them what they need.
Yeah.
All right, sir.
By way of funding.
All right, thank you. That's the much we can take on issues and answers. Our topic today is out of school children in Nigeria, and the discussants, you've been hearing their voice. We have Mr. Wagari Sunday Aibweku. He is an independent, private, international researcher on human behavior. Thank you for your thoughts this morning.
You are blessed, my sister.
And we have Discovery School, and the school is situated in Benin. It's engineer famous Jeffrey Okunda Miyo. Thank you for your talk. That's our show this morning. My name is Josephine Eimi. Do have a productive day ahead.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You lad who lost his love when he